No it don't! No it don't!
I want to do a quick review first before I continue on with your derivatives. Review. I want you to do y equals to square root. Nope, I don't need square here. Square root. 3x squared. I gotta make this a bit longer. Minus 2x plus 1. Find y prime. Go. I'm going to pause it, let you have a crack at it. So from yesterday, if you recall, if you want to think about this, think of this as u. Okay? If you want, I'm going to say let 3x squared minus 2x plus 1 equal to u. So in reality, this question becomes root u. And y prime really is, remember my shortcut technique I taught you, 1 over 2 root u. Saves you a lot of time if you remember that little trick in university. But then I go times, because this is a chain rule, I have to multiply by u prime. Well, u prime really is, so let's rewrite this properly, 1 over 2 3x squared minus 2x plus 1 times the derivative of this right here is actually 6x minus 2. See what I did? And that's the whole process chain rule. You work outside, and then you take the derivative of the inside. So this becomes 6x minus 2 over 2 3x squared minus 2x plus 1. You can do one more thing to that. Take it and simplify it for me, please. Cover, what can you do? I can get rid of 2. So in reality, you should have 3x minus 1 over 3x squared minus 2x plus 1. The concept of this chain rule is I work from outside, and outside is this farthest thing, and then I take the derivative inside. Everything you've been doing before is actually chain rule without you realizing it. For example, y equals to x cubed. This is actually chain rule without you realizing this. Because a lot of you say, Mr. That's easy. That's 3x squared. But in fact, what you did was 3x squared times the derivative of x, which is 1. And that's why this is 3x squared. So you're actually using the chain rule before without you realizing it. Because the derivative of x is simply 1. If I give you a question with trig, and this is where some of you ran in trouble with, sine of cos 3x. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the derivative of the outside. The outside first is the sine. So the derivative of sine is going to be cos. So I go cos. I keep all this the way it is because I'm going to take the derivative outside, which is cos of cos 3x. Okay, that's the first thing I do. Then, what I'm going to do next is, I'm going to take the derivative of the next piece, which is cos. Which is, go ahead, fill in this next bracket for me, please. I'm going to pause it. It is going to be negative sine 3x. Correct. Once you finish that, here's what you do. You do the next derivative, which is 3x. So imagine this is no longer here. This is no longer here. See? I just took the derivative of the first two pieces. Now I'm going to do the last piece, which is simply 3. So this is what it means by work from outside all the way to inside. So your final answer really is 3 cos, actually I'm just going to do negative sine 3x cos of cos 3x. And that's actually your answer. It looks weird, but I'll give you more questions for you to practice. Hi.
So, don't we do the derivative of outside times the derivative of the inside, right? But then, what's minus sine 3x times 3?
So which is -3 sine. That's all it is. You can't do anything. Try this one. What is y equals to cos of 5x squared? Somebody's like, what the heck is that? Go. What I'm going to do, the key to doing chain rule is to use from outside in. I'm going to start with this first trig identity. Now, I was asked a good question, say, Ms. Snow, should I use a product rule? The answer is no, because this is cos of cos, not cos times cos. You have to understand the difference. So this becomes negative sine. I keep everything in the bracket the way it is, times cos 5x squared. See? Nothing more. Then I go times. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to do the next piece, which is this derivative, which becomes negative sine cos 5x squared. And then I do the next piece inside, which is the next cos right here, which is going to be times negative sine 5x squared. Then finally I tackle the last piece on the inside, which is the x. You always work from outside in, and this becomes times 10x squared. And they may, 10x. And they may just rearrange this so that 10x goes in front. But that is all you do. That is called the power of chain rule. I'm going to give you a question. Let's see who can figure this one out. Good luck. I'm going to merge everything you've been learning together now into this question. Y equals to 1 plus cos squared 3x all to the power of 3. Good luck. I'm going to pause it. I'm going to give you a slight hint. I was told that you should do this 3 first, which is correct. So we're going to use a power rule. So this becomes 3. I keep everything the way it is, plus cos squared 3x to the power of 2 times. Now, here comes the next part. See, the issue is I'm going to multiply it by the derivative of the inside, this piece. Well, the derivative of 1 really is 0. So now, people are asking me, so what is the derivative of cos squared 3x? The most common answer I saw when I walk around, negative sine squared 3x. That's incorrect. The reason why is, same concept with this. You always tackle the power first. So the power, the outside is going to be this 2. So really, the first piece of it, I'll give you a hint, is going to be 2 cos 3x. See? I tackled the power. Then I work my way inward. Times. I'm going to pause it and let you figure out what it is. Once you do this derivative of 2, imagine this 2 is gone. I'm going to imagine it's gone. So now I take the derivative of cos 3x. Okay, that's totally separate. So the derivative of cos 3x is really negative sine 3x. Now some of you ask me, so where's this 2? This 2 does not carry on. It's totally different. So therefore, I finished the derivative of cos already. Now, do the next piece. Times. There's still one more derivative I have to think about, which is the 3x, and which is simply 3. So if I write this all in here now, this becomes 6 cos 3x and times, or it should be negative, sine of 3x. And this is my answer. Well, I can actually multiply 6 and -3 together. Sorry, what was the question?
What if you move the 3 to the 3
This 3?
No,
The 6?
no, the bottom.
Bottom 3?
Yeah.
Oh, I moved it. Oh, it's the same thing. Because I move it to the 2, but it is the same concept. You have 9. You have 18 no matter what you do then. Okay? So no matter what you then, you have negative 18. That is how you deal with a trig using square roots. What if I give you this one? A bit more confusing this time. Actually, I'm gonna give you your supernova question for today. Good luck. It's gonna say, find the equation of the tangent line. Find the equation of the tangent line. And your question will be at x equals to 1. For, here's your equation. Y equals to 1 plus sine 2x. I decided to be nice to you. I actually had a heart. I had a bad dream of you guys yelling at me, so I had to actually be nice. Oh please, as if I would ever do such thing. Over 1 minus sine 2x. Start. I'm going to make it a bit easier. I'll make it x equals to 0. It'll help you guys out. At x equals to 0. It's going to help you out. Good luck. Right off the bat, I see quotient rule. Quotient rule. And I know that within the quotient rule, I have to use the chain rule. So in reality, I have to apply these two rules. I'm going to write this down and do this pretty quick, so try to keep up and follow along. Make sure you have half a page if you don't have this, and let's start this right now. According to the quotient rule, I'm going to take the derivative first, which really becomes 2 cos 2x times 1 minus sine 2x minus derivative second, which is negative 2 cos 2x times 1 plus sine 2x all over the second squared. If you have the first line correct, you're probably on the right track so far. I'm going to expand. Okay, I like to keep it simple. I like to expand. And when I expand this out, you get 2 cos 2x minus 2 cos 2x sine 2x. Here's where you got to be careful. This now becomes plus 2 cos 2x plus 2 cos 2x sine 2x all over 1 minus sine 2x all squared. Take a minute. If you're lost, ask me a question right now. Say, Mr. No, where did any part come from? So far, so good. So then I look at this and say, hey, look, this cancels out. Do it. This cancels out. Do it. So what you're really left with is 4 cos 2x over 1 minus sine 2x all squared. That is your y prime, which is also the slope. I asked you to do it at x equals to 0. The reason I chose x equals 0 is it gives your number a really nice answer. I plug 0 into my equation, and you should have 4 as your slope. So this now becomes y equals to 4x plus b. Now a lot of you raise your hand up and say, "Mr. Snow, you didn't give me a y value. How can I do this without a y value?" In reality, you can actually calculate the y value on your own. Go back, and to calculate what y is, I plug 0 into my equation. When I plug 0 into my equation, you should have y equals to 1. So really, this equation becomes 1 equals to 4 times 0 plus b, y equals to 4x plus 1. Congratulations to the 3